Toyota has redesigned its best-selling model, the RAV4 compact SUV, and it's certainly a boxier, kind of more beefy-looking SUV than the previous generation, which kind of looked more deliberately crossover, if you will. This one follows a lot of cues from the FTAC concept. That was a concept SUV that Toyota introduced at the LA Auto Show a few months ago. You get a very prominent upright upper grille here, a lower grille that kind of sits here in this sort of sea of cladding. There's actually a lot of cladding around this vehicle here, this limited grade model at the auto show. Some interesting stuff where you see here, for example, the sheet metal kind of pokes out in between the cladding on the front fender here. Same goes on in the rear fender. And there's some functionality to all this form, we're told. Overall dimensions, overall length is about the same as the outgoing generation, but wheelbase up a little over an inch, which makes for shorter approach and departure angles if you're going off-road in your RAV4, which maybe not very many of you are, but also ground clearance up about half an inch now, though the previous generation maxed out at only about 6.5 inches, so not that much to begin with. A little more with the redesign. A lot of that kind of ruggedness continues over to the interior of the redesigned RAV4 with a lot of kind of shelf-like shapes and rugged textures going on inside the car. Very functional though, nice like big knobs here for the climate controls, volume and tuning knobs for the touchscreen up here, and they have this sort of rubberized coating in this car here at the auto show. It makes them fall to hand very easily, easy to kind of just grab them while your attention's on the road. Now this screen here, 7-inch unit is standard, an 8-inch unit is optional. Amazon Alexa compatibility as well as Apple CarPlay will be included, but Android Auto not available yet, unfortunately. Wireless cell phone, smartphone charging down here, and lots of other kind of storage nooks and crannies, and overall quality actually versus the previous generation RAV4, which was very inconsistent, seems to have taken a big step forward. Lots of kind of three-dimensional rolled stitching here in this car at the auto show. Nice to see, you know, areas where your arms and your elbows land. Those have very generous padding, including even in the rear seats where you typically see a big drop-off in cabin materials for a lot of compact SUVs. Lots of legroom back here in the rear seat. I'm 6 feet tall, and that's where I would sit to drive. Decent headroom overhead as well. I do wish that Toyota had maybe raised the back seat another inch or so off the ground, because I could give away that headroom and not have my knees so elevated up here in the air. That was an issue we had with the prior generation RAV4. It also kind of sat low to the ground in the back. Doesn't really seem like Toyota addressed it with this redesign. Like before, the RAV4 will come in regular and hybrid versions with new technologies like torque vectoring all-wheel drive to improve handling and a disconnecting rear axle to improve efficiency. Now, must-have safety features: automatic emergency braking, forward collision warning. Those will be standard. Also standard will be a new lane centering steering system. Doesn't just pinball you off the lane markings, but actually can kind of keep your vehicle centered in your lane with your hands on the wheel, obviously. We'll know a lot more closer to the RAV4's on sale date, so stay tuned. The RAV4 goes on sale in late 2018, the RAV4 Hybrid in early 2019.